Hello, hello, hello. My name is Kira, your average Genshin Impact player. The ones making noise are my two rabbits. Got a second one 2 days ago because it's like I need more noise in the background, right? Good try. I'm not like an ASMR person. Listen to my bunnies making noise. They'll put you to sleep. Anyway, today I'm here to talk about why Baizhu is the best healer in the game. And I'm gonna pull numbers. So anyway, I know that he's coming up. He's coming up opposite Furina, which is like, oh, you first. Why do you hate Baizhu? First of all, they drop him for the first time opposite the release of Star Rail. Everybody goes over to Star Rail. They're spending money on Star Rail. They're not wishing for Baizhu, okay? So his thing had horrible numbers. And it's like, of course it did. Oh my gosh. You dropped him opposite a whole new game. And now they're dropping him opposite Furina? An Archon? I mean, Archons always have really, really good sales. I can't, yeah, I can't. They're doing this. I don't know why they hate him. They, like, hyped him up for 2 years as a Dendro vision holder, and then they finally release him and they do this to him. I can't believe that. Anyway, I'm gonna pull up the characters just to pull numbers. So for the purposes of this, we're pretending that each character is C0, but they're at 10, 10, 10 with their skills and with 50k HP. So here's Kokomi right here. We're gonna look at her talents and just imagine she's a 10, 10, 10. That's what I did the calculations for. So she doesn't do any healing with her normal attack. Neither does Baizhu. That's fine. She does healing just like Baizhu does with her skill and her burst, and it's based off their HP. So with the Karagi's Oath, when she's at level 10, it does, for each pulse, and it has 7 pulses, it does 7.92% of her HP plus 1006, and then she gets this Flawless Strategy, which gives her a 25% healing bonus. But decreases her crit rate. And so with that, you do get a 43,458 heal out of the jellyfish, which has an 18-second cooldown when at level 10. That's really nice. That's really nice. If you only got one character who needs to heal and they can get 43,458 out of it, that's really nice. However, if you got a whole team that's kind of down, they only get about 11k each, which is probably not going to be enough. I'm sorry, official, I can't let you in. It's probably not going to be enough to heal the party fully. And with an 18-second cooldown, you're going to have that 8 seconds, because it only lasts 10 seconds, the jellyfish does. You're going to have that 8 seconds where you're going to have to wait until she can enter rotation again, and you can cast her skill. Now, I got 3 problems with her skill. It does apply wet to her. See, it applies so it makes her wet, and that makes her subject to elemental reactions. So you know, you gotta worry about her a little bit, because she can be squishy. She's not probably going to be the strongest attacker because of that crit rate thing, and she's probably been built for HP, and so, you know, if you're trying to heal Kokomi, she's gonna be a little vulnerable, because not only does she have to stay on the field in order to get the healing, but she's going to be vulnerable to, you know, any kind of reaction that enemies might try to put upon her. So that's, yeah, there's also the area of effect, so that if you're forced to leave the area, you're no longer going to be getting the benefits of the jellyfish. That is a problem for me. And then my largest problem is that, of course, it only helps the person who is currently on the field. It does not heal the whole party. So those are my 3 big problems with the jellyfish. The last one being the biggest. Because, you know, that 43,458, that's really sweet. But if you actually divide it up among your 4 characters, say that they're all doing pretty bad, you're only getting, rounding up, about 11k, which is probably not going to heal your characters. Now, we can go into Nereid's Ascension here. And for that, when you do the HP generation per hit, that actually gives her a chance to do a lot more healing for the group. As long as she's able to stay on the field. Because again, Kokomi can be a little bit squishy, even if she is actively healing herself. If she is being damaged more than she is actively healing herself, then you're going to want to take her off the field. So, for that, her healing bonus for everybody, this is when she does heal everybody, which is nice. They swap because Baizhu heals everybody with his skill, but then he doesn't heal everybody with his burst. She does the opposite thing. She only heals one person at a time with her skill, and then heals everybody with her burst. So with that, we get the 1.45% of her max HP plus 169. That goes for 10 seconds. So that's nice. So you're getting about you're getting 1,117.5 healing for every hit that she does for 10 seconds. That's nice. That's nice. So that is what's going to... It helps the team the most, but it also makes Kokomi a little bit vulnerable. So anyway, that's Kokomi. Now, just looking at Baizhu, just looking at his numbers to compare... When he does Universal Diagnosis, and again, I'm dragging him back down to level 10, so we're not looking at my numbers. He does 14.4% of his max HP plus 1,694.95. So that gets you to 8,894. However, because he has two of these, Universal Diagnosis, it has a 20-second cooldown, but that's because it has two sprites that he can send out. He can send out one, and then it has a 10-second cooldown. You send out the second one, it has a 10-second cooldown. So ultimately, it's a 20-second cooldown. So the 8,894 heal has a 10-second cooldown. If you want to double that and get to the 17,789, then it has a 20-second cooldown if you want to send out both sprites at once. So that has the 20-second cooldown total. Now, one thing that is important to remember is with the 5 Fortunes Forever, when your HP is less than 50%, he gets a 20% healing bonus. So that brings him up to 21,034. 21,340. So if you are doing poorly, Baizhu is going to be healing you for 21,340 with his skill when you use both sprites. And with Baizhu, because it is applied to every single character on the team every single time he sends out the sprites, the healing comes back. If we do the total of that even just that 17,789, not counting this extra 20%, he's doing a whopping 71,156 healing. That's massive. Okay, Kokomi had for her skill had the 43,458. He's doing 71,156, and he's spreading it across all team members, who will get 17,789, 21.340 if 21,340 if they are below 50%. And then he does get a Dendro bonus if you're above 50%. So, in terms of just raw healing power putting out, Baizhu really blows Kokomi out of the water. And the nice thing about him is that he does not apply Dendro to the team the way that Kokomi gets, wet. And it helps everybody on the team. You don't have to be in an area of effect. You don't have to be on the field. You just have to be on the team, and you will get that healing, because the sprites go out, they do damage to enemies, they do damage to enemies, and then they come back and they heal you. And they just heal everybody on the party if you get the two of them for 17,789. So comparing that to Kokomi, if she's, if you have to split it between the 4, doing about 11k, just Baizhu does just bigger numbers here. Now, if you're looking at the Seamless Shield, Holistic Revivification, and we're doing the 10 instead of the 13, we do 8.4% of the 50k that we're going off of, plus 1018.25. And we do that times 5 because if we have the fact that the Seamless Shield goes for 2.5 seconds and it goes for 14 seconds, imagining that you don't actually ever break the shield, you're going to be getting 27,191 HP out of being in the shield. And this is not preventing Baizhu from also doing his skill at the same time. So that's also nice. So anyway, so that is just if you are in the shield, because of course 2.5 seconds, so you're in there, it does the healing, it breaks at 2.5 seconds, it heals, it breaks, 2.5 seconds, it breaks, it heals, it breaks, it heals, it breaks, it heals. So every time it breaks at the 2.5 seconds, you then get the healing. So, yeah, that's crazy. So getting the total of 27,191 if you are in the shield with shield never breaking. Now, if the shield breaks, because it can take a little less than 1,000 damage if he's got 50k HP, then it breaks, then the shield comes back and heals you again. So it might have less than this 2.5 seconds. It might be doing more than that 27,000 healing if the shield breaks more often. That was just basing it off of the idea that the shield doesn't break, you're really good at dodging, and you just want to heal yourself for 27,191. Now, this one does have the drawback that it does not heal everybody in the party. It does only heal the person who is part of it, but you also do not have to stay as a single character in order to be getting that healing. It also is a shield, which means that, whoever is in there is going to be protected. Now, I know that it's like, oh, it's such a weak little shield, but because you are getting the constant HP regeneration, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to come out on top. Plus, the shield sends out sprites to do damage. So you're not only doing damage when you are in the shield, you are getting this insane amount of healing. It's a win-win situation. So while Kokomi might be able to do that 1,117.5 every time that she hits something, when she's in her neuride state, and that affects everybody, I mean, those are nice numbers. I'm not going to lie. Those are really nice numbers. It makes her vulnerable and you can't switch out. With Baizhu's, you have a shield, you're less vulnerable, and you can switch out. So it's kind of like her jellyfish. It has to be the active member on the field who gets the healing. But then you also have the fact that his skill doesn't need you to be the active member on the field. So you do come up on top again. So kind of both ways there, Baizhu is kind of definitely coming on top on numbers with the skill. With the burst, it really depends on how much you are able to do damage as Kokomi, how much you are able to hit the enemy, if you're able to stay out there for the full 10 seconds. For Baizhu, you have the 14-second shield, and that's going to go with whatever character is on the field. And you will get the maximum of minimum of 27,191,000 more if the shield breaks and has less than this 2.5 duration. So, those are the numbers. Those are the numbers. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bash Kokomi. but I am just doing the math, and that's who comes out on top. You can prefer Kokomi, that's fine. If Kokomi is your healer girl, cool. But the plain numbers say that Baizhu does more healing. Now, looking quickly at his constellation, the reason I C6'd him, and honestly, it was the best idea that I've ever had in my Genshin playing career. My wallet hated me, but the two important ones for me were Incisive Discernment and Elimination of Malicious Chi, because of course the C6 is usually really good, unless you're Sino, in which case your C6 is gonna suck. But, not bitter or anything. So with Incisive Discernment, you get basically when your character, any character, doesn't have to be Baizhu, hits an opponent, this can be every 5 seconds, you get what's called a Gossamer Sprite Splice. And a splice goes out and does one attack before turning. Now, with Baizhu, he generally does, I think it's, yeah. So, with the C1, with the sprite that goes out and circles enemies, that does dendro damage and then comes back and heals you. If you do the C1, you get an additional charge, which is nice. You do just a little bit more damage. With this, you get the splice, which goes out and it only attacks one, so it doesn't attack as many as his skill does, but it does 200% of his attack as dendro damage. And then it heals for 20% of Universal Diagnoses, Gossamer Sprite's normal healing, which of course was... oh boy. 8,894 at level 10. So, not bad for just a little thing. So you just have to hit an enemy, and there's a 100% chance you're gonna get this splice. Goes out, attacks an enemy, comes back to you, and heals you for 20% of the 8,824. Then we get down to the Elimination of Malicious Chi. This means that it increases the damage dealt by 8% of his max HP. And this is when you either get the sprite, so the thing he sends out during his skill, or the splice, which you generate every 5 seconds, you get a seamless shield. You don't have to activate his burst, you get a shield, and it does the healing. It does the healing and it does the shielding. Now, it doesn't last very long, and you can only get one for every sprite or splice. However, it means that you are constantly, at least every 5 seconds, generating a seamless shield that heals and protects. And so, when I saw that, and I had, I'm a Sino main, and I was like, oh, that's gonna make my boy invincible. And it has. So, but even if you just see 0, even if you just get one copy of Baizhu, you're still getting those insane numbers with the healing if you get to the 10-10-10. Just absolute bonkers healing. This is why I went with, I think if you're willing to pull more constellations for Baizhu, I would get to the C2 so that you can get the splices, just for that extra 20% of the healing, because that really does help when you're just out and about and you just happen to get, some healing every 5 seconds. Like, it's nice. It's really nice, and you don't have to have his skill activated or his burst, you just get healed. So if you can C2 Baizhu, that's really nice. If you hate your wallet, then you can C6 him and be invincible. But whatever. Okay, so that was just talking numbers. I'm just gonna go and do this domain, and I'm going to just do it as Sino, because he's, a character that a lot of people have talked about being super squishy, and he is. I can admit that. So I am just going to play as Sino, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to activate anything with Baizhu, because Sino is at full HP. And so this is just so you can see the effect of the sprite and the splices. And then I will do another run where I just activate, where I do use Baizhu and Sino together. Okay, so you see the activation of the Seamless Shield. And Sino only has 20,000, about 21,000 HP. So you can watch that go up when he activates the Seamless Shield again with an attack. And that can be a charged attack, it can be a normal attack, it can be just any sort of attack. If I entered his burst, then his attacks would also work. So we're in the Seamless Shield, we get the healing. They disappear. Now this is taking a little longer, but it takes a little longer when you're just trying to, you know, off someone with your normal and your charge attacks. Okay, I hit him, so I get the Seamless Shield. Get the 24,000. There we go, we get the healing. Oh, and we get the healing again, so come on, just kill him. Oh, so you can see that I was in the red a few seconds ago. Hopefully I'll splice again. No. But you could see how I was in the red and then got up to full HP. I wanted to heal completely. Heals everybody. So that was just with Baizhu as a support character, straightly a support character, never bringing him on the field. I'll do the same one again, and I will bring Baizhu onto the field, and I'll also use Sino's Burst, just because. He is not a bad character when it comes to... Well, he creates a lot of dendrocores. So you can see, goes out, affects them both, does some damage. They're now dendro affected, so quicken. Sino is still getting that Seamless Shield just for doing attacks. And I am going to use both of their bursts with the Fatui agents. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so you can see, even though, you know, some people get a little bit worried about the shield that breaks, Sino with his, 21,000 health is still at full HP at the end there with the Seamless Shield. So, go back to our scenic location here. So yeah, when you're just looking at your numbers, when you're looking at the gameplay, Baizhu is insane. If you can get him to that nice C2 or even to that C6, that is going to completely change the way you play Genshin. Like, it's insane the way that I have my teams now, that it's like, okay, here's Alpha team and here's like Theta team or whatever team. Like, no team that I've been able to try to create has come close to just, and it's just because of having that healing power that Baizhu has. It's bonkers. I'm using 2 healers on other teams, just trying to like match the amount of healing that I get from him. So again, I know Furina's going to be really popular. I know everybody's going to want to pull for her, but man, you should really be paying attention to the other guy who's going to be on the other side of the banner, because Baizhu is the best healer in the game. The numbers prove it, okay? The numbers prove it. He beat Kokomi out in terms of healing ability. Plus he shields, you know? So, really, consider pulling for Baizhu. He's going to be a good pull. And, you know, if you want to talk team compositions or whatever, you know, let me know. But you really, really should consider pulling for him, because the amount of healing he does is just absolutely insane. He's able to do bloom like no other characters I have, because of the sprite, and if you get to the C2, the splices. This is just an insanely powerful character, and I think people really missed out on him because not many people pulled him during his first run. It was always really weird because I would go to a domain with, like, you know, a co-op domain, and I would pick Baizhu, and then someone else would turn into Kokomi, and it's like, I can heal everyone. It's fine. So, going by numbers alone, Baizhu is the best healer in the game. And he is a great, great Dendro character just for applying Dendro. So I would really, really consider getting Baizhu. I would really consider it. When you're done pulling for Furina, just see if you can get just C0 Baizhu. If you can get him up to that 10-10-10, you're still going to be getting those insane numbers. You don't need the splices or the seamless shield that appears. That's just something that I wanted for me. So, please consider pulling for Baizhu. It will up your game. I basically promise. I promise it will. It will up your game by so much. You won't even remember what Genshin was like before you had Baizhu. So, thanks for listening. I'm Kira, your average Genshin Impact player. Good luck on all your roles. Good luck. Make some of them for Baizhu. So, hope you're doing well wherever and whenever you are. I'll see you soon. Bye.